Letting your toddler spend some time away from you, like going to preschool, could be one of the best things for you. Yep, I'm starting off this episode with a potentially controversial statement. I want to know, are you facing this dilemma right now of either keeping your toddler at home or sending them to school? Can you not imagine them spending so many hours away from you? But you're also juggling the fear of not knowing how you'll get everything done you need to around the house, for your business, for your husband, for your family, while having your toddler with you 24/7. It's literally all the feels, right? Well, I'm here today, Mama, to bring some peace to your heart and help you see and think on some different perspectives of how sending your toddler to preschool could totally be a truly positive thing for you and your whole family. My goal is to help you see these different perspectives in hopes that you'll then bring your heart and your desires to the Lord and allow Him to lead you to what to do for you and your family. So without further ado, let's dive in, Mama, and let's grow together. Hey, Mama, welcome to the Energized Mama podcast. Do you want a better work-life balance and more time and energy? Do you find yourself thinking, how can I add more hours into the day? Or are you Googling how to deal with mom guilt and can my marriage survive toddlers? Do you wake up with big goals only to feel overwhelmed and defeated when you have no one to help you and your littles aren't listening to you again? Hey, I'm Cheyanne. I too was an exhausted mom away from the help of my family. I too felt constantly drained with a strong-willed toddler and wished I could find balance between being a wife, a mom, stepmom, and entrepreneur. I wanted more energy to give myself and my husband, to discipline my kids confidently, and incorporate faith into our home. All the things, right? But I kept telling myself that I couldn't do it feeling this exhausted and without a community supporting around me, until I found a healthy balance and endless energy in raising Jesus-loving littles. In this podcast, you will find that too. You will find time and energy boosting tips and tricks, guidance for disciplining your littles, and what to do when you have no help so that you will find balance between all your roles. Stop feeling drained and learn to trust your own mom tuition. Time to grab those headphones, pour that green smoothie, and get ready to get your daily energy boost. I've got you, Mama. I want to homeschool. I actually wanted to share that right off the bat with you so that you know where I'm coming from with this topic. Honestly, Mama, in an ideal world, I wouldn't have my son going to preschool like he is actually right now, especially starting like he did at 2.5. And right now he is about to, at the recording of this episode, he's going to be turning 3 in about 2 weeks. However, the reality is, right, we don't live in an ideal world, at least definitely not all the time. Sometimes there are ideal seasons in your life, in your parenthood, and in your marriage, but they don't last forever, right? So change is the only constant. And you may have heard that quote before. I promise, if there's anything motherhood has taught me, and I'm sure has taught you, more than anything, is that nothing stays the same. Just one look at your child and you can just see how time and growth, it just affects us all. So my first few years of motherhood have been a lot different than I ever expected and dreamed of growing up. I'll say some of it has been a lot better. I mean, I'll say I never imagined getting to take my kids to real castles and, 700-year-old buildings as their everyday experience in life. And that's what I get to do living here in Belgium. But there's also been a lot of things that haven't been better. They've been a lot bigger of a struggle. For instance, not having the hands-on help I imagined I'd have. I grew up next door to my grandma, right across her garden, right across a cornfield. And here my mom, who I thought would be my biggest helper and hands-on supporter, is about 5,000 miles away. So it's really forced me, my motherhood journey thus far has forced me to alter my expectations and really surrender to things in my present moment, even though there are things that may change in the future. It's really important, I've discovered, and what I want to share with you, mamas, is to stay in this present moment, because the future is not only uncertain, but it's not here yet. Right? And so we really have to stay where we're at right now so that we can seek that peace and that energy that we so badly and desperately want for our family and for ourselves and our husbands right now. And for me and my family right now, to stay present and submit my expectations and to surrender, for us right now, the best thing was to send our son to preschool. And I want to actually share with you what I've learned in the first 6 months of doing so and how this big choice and transition has actually helped our family and how I truly believe it can help yours too. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you 3 different perspectives to help show you how sending your toddler to preschool can be a positive effect and can be really, really, really a great decision for you and your family. So as I just said, we're actually going to focus on number 1. The first perspective shift is just to see how sending your child to preschool, maybe earlier than you expected or you wanted, could actually be very beneficial for you. By sending your toddler to preschool, it's going to give you more focus time, right? There is going to be an expected amount of hours that you can release your child to these other trusted individuals. And for whether that's half day or that's a full day, it's going to free up time in your life so that you have more focus time. You now get to ask yourself the question, what do I do when my life isn't completely consumed on entertaining, disciplining, and loving a little one? Right? You now are giving yourself the freedom to explore more outside of mom life, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that a lot of your time and energy, even when your child would be in preschool, would still focus around your mom life. I know for me, I work from home. I also run a household, raising children. We also have my husband's daughter living with us. So I have a beautiful bonus teenager in my house too, that my heart and my soul and my attention go to. However, I definitely have more time to now start to think, what do I want to do with this time? What business goals do I have? What type of cleaning arrangements do I want in the house? What kind of projects do I have around the house that I would like to do? What stores maybe will I now visit because I won't have a toddler with me all the time? So again, there's less pressure on you. So you now really get to start to dream and imagine, like, what could life be like? And I don't want you to feel guilt in this, right? Mom guilt follows us around all the time. But again, you've heard this so often, I'm sure, happy wife, happy life, and happy mom just means that everyone else can also have their space to be happy too. So in these hours, when you don't have your toddler, when you don't have all of the focus on them, you can give yourself permission to do some of these other things. One tactical and tangible way I would suggest that you go about this time is to create yourself a vision board. Now, it doesn't have to be a big poster board with a bunch of magazine clippings and letters. If you're about that, I personally love that, and I do have an episode on that, so make sure you check the show notes below. But I would suggest just writing down some ideas, some imagination. Write out what you would like to do with this intentional time. Even if you're in the space of deciding on whether or not this is what you want to do, still go ahead and do it, even if your child's not in preschool yet. Or say wherever you live, your child cannot go to preschool until 3 or 4. And if you're a year or 6 months away from that, it's never time like the present to go into that zone and paint a vision for your future and start to write out these dreams and these plans so that you can make them more tangible. Now, here we are diving into lesson number 2, or perspective 2 shift. So we talked about how sending your toddler could be a great decision and really healthy for you. But now we're going to pivot to the toddler, him or herself, right? So this isn't just something great to free up time for mama. This is actually a very intentional step could be for your toddler, as opposed to maybe going to a daycare or to a babysitter where maybe the focus would be completely around play. Your child in a preschool setting, it really gives them an opportunity to learn and to grow. Your toddler will instantly be around other children their age, so it's going to teach them wonderful socialization skills. They'll learn just by being there so many great life skills, such as sharing, communication, talking to one another, problem solving. I know in our family situation right now, since we have a teen and a toddler and one on the way, when my son was home with me, his sister was in school, and I'm pregnant, so it was really just him and I. So he was definitely learning how to communicate and listen with mommy, but there wasn't any other littles around for him to engage with and learn how to share and how to communicate and how to just listen to one another. And so by having him in preschool, he has learned to do that. And also by having him in preschool, that also establishes a routine, an expectation for him or her to rely on. When my toddler was at home, because I'm a stay-at-home, work-from-home mama, our day was full of flexibility and it was great. We kind of let our day flow and go as we wanted. Where now, because he's in preschool, we have this routine that really I've noticed has caused him to really grow into himself. Ever since we started preschool, we had this little morning get ready chart, and now my son really looks forward to it. It's goes a little something like, okay, first we try to use the potty, then we have breakfast, and then we get dressed, we brush our hair, we read from the Bible, and then we put our jacket on to get ready to go to school by the car or by the bike. And so in the past, when he wasn't going to preschool, we didn't have this flow. We didn't have this expectation of getting out. And so this really actually has enhanced our on-the-go experience on the weekends or during vacation when our son isn't in preschool. It's amazing how he now connects to the routine of getting up in the morning, of getting ready to go out the door, all these things that of course can be implemented even if you're not having your child go to school, but it is an extra incentive for them to really get an opportunity to learn a routine and to stick with it and see these established situations in their life that they're going to actually build off of for life. Because we all know as moms, life is full of routines and we can't run from them. Something else, another great point for your toddler is that they learn to listen to others and they learn to trust others, other adults in their life, depending on if you live around your family or not, or if you've accepted others helps with raising your children. Maybe your children, like mine, don't have a ton of other interaction with, say, nannies or babysitters or grandparents or aunts or uncles. So by sending them to preschool, they're learning to adapt to others' styles, learning to respect and honor other people other than just mom or dad. And this is a beautiful, beautiful life lesson that they're going to take with them long on beyond preschool. And you'll also see it reflect beautifully in your own life at home. And here we are, Mama. You've made it to the third perspective shift to help you see how sending your child to preschool could very much be a very healthy and positive thing. And as I mentioned at the end of the last point was about you and for your family. And that's exactly the perspective I'm going to help paint for the end of this episode, is that by sending your toddler to preschool, it really could benefit your whole family. And that could be anything from extended family members to siblings that live in the home. Preschool offers an awesome opportunity for everyone to participate in more activities together. That togetherness, again, giving a purpose to your day, a flow to your day, a routine, whether this is by siblings or grandparents helping bring your child to and from school or going to school activities. I know at my son's preschool, they've already had some musical performance, they've had some parades, they've even had a walkathon, all these things that just go together with school. And it really allows our family to get more connected. It gives them like a mutual excitement and enjoyment to come together to support our toddler in a way that they wouldn't have or they didn't before he entered preschool. And it's a great way to help the community. In our preschool, we also have opportunities to raise money for different places. We actually have a school in Africa that we support with their music program. And so it just helps my son and also our family members become more aware of the community at large, and also helping them, take more pride and ownership in the town that my son's school is in, as they also participate in community activities. Now, not to mention, also when you go and have your child go to school, it does free up more time for mom or dad. Maybe you and your husband work from home, or maybe you, mama, work from home, or you're a stay-at-home mom. Again, this, as I said in the first point, is only going to free up more time for you to be able to focus on other things, to be able to actually arguably maybe even enhance your toddler's life a bit more, because now you have more attention that you can give to other areas of the home and in their life that maybe you couldn't when they constantly were around and demanding your attention. It also gives moms and dads the opportunity to focus on other kids. So like my season very soon is I'm going to have a newborn, and by my son, knowing that I can drop him off in a safe space where he's going to learn and grow at preschool, I can then more fully focus my attention on our newborn baby. Or for instance, even with teenagers, right? They also still need us as much as they don't like to admit that they do. But by, again, giving this time to my son to be able to go to preschool, I've realized that I now have more time and energy to give to my teenage bonus daughter so that I'm not depleted when she comes home after being exhausted, being home with a house full of littles all day. I'm able to actually give her more of me, and thus I'm able to balance my commitment to all my children better, simply because I've allowed my son, I've sacrificed in my heart something that I didn't necessarily want to do, but I've allowed him to go to preschool, and I allowed in this season to see this as a bonus and benefit for him and our entire family. So, will I homeschool someday? I certainly hope so, but I know that it is not the best option for our family right now. And maybe it's not the option for your family right now. I'm curious what you thought about this episode and how these perspective shifts possibly helped you make the decision a little bit easier of whether or not to send your toddler to preschool. The best way you can actually let me know this answer to that question is by heading over to Apple Podcasts and writing me a review. You can actually find it on Apple Podcasts right as you scroll through some of my episodes. There's a spot where you can put in how many stars you want to give me and write a simple review, and just let me know, what did you think of this episode and what helped you the most? And this way I can make sure I keep crafting this podcast into something that's going to help you, mama of littles, you mama who wants to find balance and raise Jesus-loving littles, that I stand by that and I help you grow and I help sharpen you. As iron sharpens iron, as the Bible says, you sharpen me with your reviews, and I hope I can keep sharpening you right back. So again, let me know there. And please also, if you're looking for another opportunity to connect and communicate off this podcast, not just with me, but other moms that have the same intention and purpose for raising their kids, please head to my show notes and join the free Facebook community I've created just for moms of littles. You can also go ahead and just type in the URL momnationcommunity.com, and we look forward to connecting with you there. Thank you for listening to another episode of Mom Nation. I can't wait to continue to grow with you on a future episode. Hey mama, do you wish there was a way to stop feeling emotionally drained by your life as a mom of littles? Do you wish you could have more energy for your husband without constantly feeling just totally physically exhausted? I know what it feels like to want more from your life than just being a mom. I know what it feels like to be overwhelmed with, where to begin to stop the stress in my everyday life, and to have no idea what healthy habits to implement into my own home that'll actually make a difference. I also know what it feels like to be totally lost and how to create a realistic and sustainable plan that works for me in my home. And I know what it feels like to just think that you just can't be energetic while you parent a household full of littles that demand so much of you. At least one that doesn't rely on either coffee for energy or wine to distress. Am I right? Well, now I want you to imagine if you no longer felt completely exhausted at the end of your day. Imagine if you had the time to go on dates with your husband, and you had the energy to give yourself some much needed me time. And if you had easy to implement systems and strategies that would allow you to be that energetic and vibrant mama you want to be, all at the same time while still raising your kids the exact way you want. Well, I have great news for you. That's why I created the More Energy Method, a customized blueprint to clear your chaos and bring back more energy into your everyday life. It's where I teach you to decrease stress while increasing your energy. You will be able to stick with this super simple plan, tailor-made for you, by the way, that will establish new healthy habits that'll unlock energy without taking away focus from your kids or require huge commitments of time. You will walk away with crystal clear clarity of exactly what to focus on. You'll walk away with a plan that'll help you exactly know how to do it, and with the confidence as a woman, wife, and mother to make the changes you need to and keep them for good. So mama, if you're ready to stop feeling overwhelmed and exhausted the moment you wake up and instead feel rejuvenated throughout the day and go to bed satisfied, even as a busy mom of littles, then there's no time like the present to take this step for yourself when you right now can actually get 20% off during the month of April and May. This offer will expire come June 1st, and I think we can both agree you deserve this freedom right now. Plus, when you buy now, you get my special bonus where I show you exactly how to implement this blueprint with your husband and unlock his own energy too. So go. Head to energyformoms.com. I even have the link below to make it very simple for you. It's time to lose the stress while gaining yourself back and have endless amounts of energy for yourself, your husband, and a life beyond just your littles.